Hey, this is Race.
And this is Amber.
And this is a Talk of Trash Talk. We're back.
After like a month. What happened?
Life and no anime.
That's true. I've actually been really bad about keeping caught up with everything.
Yeah, we kept caught up on the shows we ended up watching together.
And then the shows we
and
weren't...
nothing else.
Yeah, and there's a few shows we started off watching separately and ended up watching them together. And some of them I'm just waiting for you to get caught up, and you're waiting for me to get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
So... But yeah, it's the start of the end of the season.
Yes, this is... shows are actually done this week.
So...
And it's blowing my mind that we've gotten this far. Yeah, like...
We actually survived a lot of this, which was...
Yeah.
Kind of rough at times. So let's see what.
I mean, we didn't hold all of our promises. We ended up dropping a couple of shows.
That's true.
We confidently dropped one this week. We'll probably drop a few before the end of next week.
Yeah, just because we haven't been watching them, and it's going to be so much to catch up.
Yeah, and they got bad.
That's true.
At least in the case of the one we dropped 3D Girl this week, but like we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all the shows that we're considering dropping near the end. First off, I want to recommend all the shows that we watched that finished up this week that we were watching: Mahou Shoujo Ore, Comic Girls, Hinamatsuri, Otakoi.
Oh my god, they're all fantastic!
Yeah, these were some of my favorite shows of the season. Like, the only one that's not completing this season, that's not continuing something that I've been excited about was Megalobox.
Yeah.
I'm a couple weeks behind.
As am I.
Yeah.
But we'll catch up on that this week, because it should be ending next week.
Mm-hmm. It's 13 episodes. I think it started the same week as a bunch of other stuff, so...
Yeah, well, we'll check. We'll find out. We'll watch it. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I cannot recommend the 4 shows that we finished this week enough.
Yeah, Mahou Shoujo Ore started a little rough, but got really good. I fully recommend that one to anyone who enjoys comedy. Particularly anyone that kind of likes magical girls as a thing. Like, that the tropes are really well done.
Yeah, it's really genre aware, and it has to be. So if you're into that sort of thing, you're gonna love this.
One thing I'll say is I loved it to death on like the inside humor of like anime production. It started with that at the beginning with like the very first joke, but it continues that for a lot of things, and it's really funny. Particularly, I'm talking about episode 5. If nothing else, if the show's not grabbing you, skip to episode 5.
I think you can safely watch episode 5 without watching the rest of the show.
Yeah, you won't know who the guys with the bags on their heads are.
But it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a little bit funnier if you do know, but if you don't, it's still good. Let's see. Comic Girls. Oh my god, this show is amazing and adorable and heartwarming.
It was a great Moe Blob show. You know, it's just done well. You know.
Yeah, it was.
I like Moe Blob shows anyway, so.
I like that there was a lot of love in this show.
Yes, there was. All the characters were great.
Oh, fantastic! Especially the bit parts.
Mm-hmm.
But the main cast is great too. So
yeah, like everyone in the show, like the 3 adults, for us a senpai that we hadn't met yet.
Yeah, this show will make you feel better about life, I think. Mm-hmm. It really does. I look forward to watching it every week. Oh, yeah. This was like the show that I woke up on Thursday and I rolled over, grabbed my phone, started watching. Yeah. Alright. Otakoi, again, the show, it is such a good show.
Yeah.
Such a good show.
Oh,
it's
good otaku comedy, yeah. It's good romance.
Anything like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a few shows that try and be in a similar vein, but they're usually wackier, or they're usually more comedy.
Well, yeah, and the comedy here is well played. It is a genuinely funny show.
A lot of shows that like do the light romance don't do it well.
Mm-hmm. But it's a mature show about mature characters, and that
it's
without
a show
being
about adults. Yeah.
Without being, overly sexual or overly, one way or another. It's a very real show.
Yeah, it's and I'd almost put it in a similar vein to the Netflix Agretsuko.
Yeah.
It being a show about adults,
yeah.
really for adults.
Yeah, just about being adults.
Uh-huh.
And then Hinamatsuri is easily the funniest show that we watched this season.
Yeah, I think I can agree on that.
It was the most consistently funny.
Yeah. I think the bits in Mahoushoujo Ore were better.
But they were fewer and further between.
Yeah, there was a lot more of a high and low show.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and, I mean, Comic Girls and Otakoi both had absolutely hilarious moments.
Yes.
But Hinamatsuri was consistently on point.
Mm-hmm.
Just all the time.
Yeah. That show was beautifully crafted, really well written.
Oh, the art is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Once you get past the weird highlights in the hair. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we can't, without getting too spoilery, we just can't recommend any of these shows highly enough.
Yes.
There's probably going to be a few next week that will be a little shakier on.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, the shows that ended this week are just all fantastic.
I totally agree on that. These were some of my favorite shows I've watched in the last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of these are in my top favorites ever.
Yeah, these are shows I will actively recommend to people in the coming months, weeks, years. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them I will probably rewatch.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think especially like something like Otakoi is really easy to recommend to people later because there's so little like it.
Yeah.
Whereas like Comic Girls, it's like, well, I could recommend Comic Girls, but I should recommend K-On! First.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you've already seen K-On!,
yeah,
then Comic Girls is great.
More K-On!, yeah.
Alright, so from here out, I think we're going to say that we're going to spoil a bunch of shit.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about the shows in depth. And those were our recommendations to give you a warning. If you haven't seen the shows, you should go see the shows. Now we want to talk about them.
Yeah. So we're gonna do these in the order in which we watched them.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start at the top with Mahoushoujo Ore because that was the first one that aired and the first one that finished.
Yes. It aired 2 weeks before everything.
Yeah.
With 2 episodes, because Crunchyroll's weird sometimes.
Weirdly, it kind of worked for me though. If I hadn't watched the episodes back to back,
yeah,
I might have had a different opinion.
I think episode 1 alone was kind of weak.
Episode 2 alone was kind of weak too, but when taken together,
yeah,
they're a good setup for the show.
Mm-hmm.
So there were some parts in this where the humor kind of fell a little flat, and a lot of that had to do with its treatment of gender, even though it was otherwise pretty interesting as far as that went.
Yeah, like a lot of the jokes fell flat with especially early with like the deadpan humor.
Yeah.
That really didn't work as well as they wanted to.
But later on, they kept doing it, and
they got better at it.
Yeah.
Like they timed the expressions on the faces better.
Mm-hmm. They also
the main guy that the main girl's crushing on, Saki's crushing on. It becomes
Mahiro.
The deadpan character.
Yeah.
And he actually becomes really funny. He goes from being actually nothing to actually pretty funny.
Yeah, because he becomes the gag.
Yeah. Where he doesn't actually talk, he just mumbles.
Yeah, but everyone understands him anyway. And the first couple of times it happens, you're like, what the fuck is this? And then after a while, you realize it's kind of working for you.
Yeah.
Because when he opens his mouth, he is a Disney princess.
Yes he is.
The show had some serious pacing issues in the first, 6 or 7 episodes, aside from episode 5. Because episode 5 is kind of its own creature. But up until about halfway through the series, it had some serious pacing issues that made it really hard to watch.
Well, episode 6 is when they're, in the studio, right?
I think so.
I think that, everything from 5 on is pretty okay. episode 1 through 4 was kind of hard paced.
There was the episode with the extended backstory.
Yeah, that was episode 3.
Was that episode 3? I thought it was number 4.
It was either 3 or 4.
Okay, but yeah, it was really early on in the series.
It was 3,
but it was really hard to watch because it was more than half of the episode is dedicated to the backstory of why Sakuya loves Mohiro.
And more than half of the episode was dedicated to children singing.
Yeah, and it's not just like, oh, the kids are singing now, and then we'll cut to the future. No, they sang the whole fucking song.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, like, all the song bits. I wish there was a director's cut that just cut all the songs from the first part of the show.
Yeah, because I remember watching these first few episodes, especially after being so interested in it conceptually, and then after the first 2. And this next couple episodes were just so hard to watch. I was like, I can't believe that they're taking this opportunity that they have with this concept and squandering it like this.
Yeah, they figured it out, though, because, like, you get to, like, the karaoke episode.
Oh, my God.
And their timings on how much of the song they did in each part were right.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, and manager, the best.
He's still the best. I mean, even after everything he did.
Oh, I think that makes it even better.
Yeah, there was some question toward the end when it started getting to the point where where like the story needs to start wrapping up.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really gotten any further into like where these demons are coming from and why they keep trying to kidnap this dude. Mm-hmm. And it's been teasing the entire time.
Yeah.
Who it is. And the way the show is, it's hard to tell. Is this a misdirect? Or is it exactly what it looks like? Because either option is equally funny.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we went with the misdirect.
Yeah. It's the manager.
Yeah. And his whole logic and his reasoning and everything that he was doing was just brilliant. Mm-hmm. That could not have been better.
Oh, he was such a great character. He's easily my favorite character in the show. And the show has lots of great characters.
I have to disagree with you because I think Sakuya's mom...
She was great, but she was hardly...
Saki. It's Saki's mom. I keep getting those girls mixed up.
Yeah, Saki's mom's great, but she's hardly in the show.
That's
she gets
true.
Like one episode.
But when she is in the show, she is fucking gold.
Her backstory episode was so good.
Oh my god. I laughed so hard. She is the best magical girl.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
And I guess the other characters are anime exclusive. I didn't really get their inclusion in the story.
I think it was mostly a pacing thing. Like, they added to the pace to it. They gave it another thing to focus on.
Yeah.
I like their bit just fine.
Yeah, then in that case, I feel like maybe there should have been a little more of them.
Yeah.
Because, like, they were there, and then they were gone, and then they popped in at the end of the show.
Yeah.
But only for, like, 2 seconds to be funny, which is fine, but...
It did make the ending seem a lot more full.
Yeah, that's true. But I think of the 4 shows, as much as I enjoyed all 4 of these shows, I think this is the one that I actually enjoyed the least.
Yeah, I can probably agree on that.
If only because of how shaky it was at the start.
Yeah, it was the most inconsistent show we watched. And we keep talking about that. That's, yeah.
We keep coming back to it, so, clearly it's an issue. But it's a show that I really enjoyed, and again, if you're into magical girls and, you don't mind a little bit of a weird gender comedy, because I know some people, it's a little less than sensitive in some places.
Yeah.
Not nearly as bad as something that's coming up in summer.
We'll
that's
talk about
another
that
episode.
in summer.
That's another episode. But if you're into the genre, it's a hilarious show.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about episode 5 at all? Or some of the other in-jokes, or just say watch it?
We can talk about episode 5. Episode 5 is basically, it's basically, anime production as an episode of Evangelion. Yeah, the giant monster is coming to destroy the anime production.
Yeah.
So they have to get the anime out to save the world of anime.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
There is so much in humor in this episode. If you know things about anime production, you understand how it all works.
Yeah, there's references to specific people and stuff.
Oh, some of them are very blatant too.
Yeah.
References to specific places.
Uh-huh.
Specific studios, locations. I think particular events, but I'm not 100% certain on that one.
The whole episode is outsourced.
Yeah. The episode is about outsourcing.
Yeah.
To finish production because you have a deadline that's looming on you. And they fucking outsourced the episode.
Yeah, like, there's so many bits in the episode. Like, the episode starts with blue outlines, and they're like, 2 minutes in, they're like, nix the blue outlines. And then there's no longer blue outlines.
Yeah. It is sheer brilliance. It is one of the best episodes of anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But you do have to kind of get a lot of that meta humor.
It's funny, we started watching Shirobako right around the same time. That was kind of weird.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you've seen Shirobako, you'll appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recommend, even if you're not interested in the rest of the show, because it has nothing to do with the rest of the show at all.
Like, they show up.
The main characters aren't even in it.
They show up for, 2 seconds.
They're stick figures.
Yeah. There's literally, jokes about, cutaways to them.
Yeah.
Where
they're like paper cutouts.
Yeah.
They have a line, and then it cuts back to the real show.
Yeah.
So you don't need to know anything else about the show. And this episode is 100% brilliant.
Yes.
And there's a few other little in-jokes like that, like the one at the beginning of the show. The one in episode 11, when it starts getting to the final...
Oh, yeah, where they lower the animation quality.
Yeah, so the demons are invading, and one of the tools that they're using is they're lowering the animation quality of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone turns from, normally rendered, normally drawn looking people to, the worst, derpy...
everyone looked like really bad tweens.
Yeah.
On the keyframes.
Yeah, and it's... Oh, God, it's hilarious.
It is hilarious. It is so funny, the way they lean into it.
Yeah, so, I mean, and honestly, the whole show has this kind of meta level of humor to it, although most of the rest of it's about idols.
Yeah.
I think. Which I don't know as much about, so maybe I didn't get some of it.
Yeah, I feel like I missed a little bit of the idols. I kind of get the idea of it, but...
Yeah, but not the specifics. Not as much as the anime production stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's highly recommended, but it's not my favorite show of the season. I would give it, I'll probably
Hinamatsuri
rate
is
it...
the only one on this list that isn't hard otaku comedy.
That's true. God, we're nerds.
Yeah.
But so I think when I put this on my Mal as finished, I think I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a kind of waffling between 7 and 8, but the more I talk about how much good stuff was in it, the more I think it's an 8.
Yeah, it's really high highs.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Mahou Shoujo Ore. Now, Comic Girls.
I adore this show. I love this show. It was the show that I was most driven to watch every week, at least the new show. I don't even Frank's I've been watching religiously.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a harder sell for me at the beginning, actually.
Yeah. The beginning, I wasn't sure about it, because it was like Moe Blob Yuri bullshit.
Yuri bait. That's the problem, is Yuri bait.
Yeah.
I don't mind Yuri. I kind of mind Yuri bait.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because I actually, I had to watch the first episode twice. I didn't finish it the first time.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the first episode, you kind of... You don't know the main character well enough to, care about what she's doing. Yeah. She's just this weird little girl that is pulling around her rentique.
Yeah. And sucks at drawing.
Yeah.
And over the course of the next few episodes, I actually grew to fall in love with her, and how adorably, disastrously gay she is. her being chaos is suffering. That's the subtitle of the entire show.
Yeah, she is absolute disaster in a little pink body.
Yeah, she tries so hard and just sucks at everything. She just sucks.
It gets to the point where it's kind of sad at some points.
It's not kind of sad, it is sad. Like, I identify with her in that respect so much.
I love that sound. I need that as like a sound clip. I need that as like my text tone. Every time I get like a message.
Oh God. Yeah, I really did come to care for her a lot and identify with her in many ways. I will say that she has more follow through than I do, though. Because she sucks, but she keeps trying.
Yeah.
She wants it so bad. And one of the best things I've ever seen...
She's a much lower low than you, though.
Yeah, it's true. One of her best moments to me is when she goes out by herself. Because she never goes out by herself. She always goes out with people. And so she goes out by herself to go do dumb otaku shit. Mm-hmm. And eventually realizes that she doesn't like being out in the world alone, and just throws herself in the garbage. She finds a box in an alley and just sits in it.
Oh, that joke is so great too, because like they were looking for her back at the dorm, and what's her name? Koyumi looks in a box, and one of the characters is like, "Why are you looking at a box?" And when they find her, they're like,
"She's in the box." She was in the box. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad that they came around to that joke. And yeah, so it's just Chaos in a box.
She's such a funny character. There's so many facets. Like her huge love of like boobs and cute girls.
Oh, she is so gay, and it is so cute.
Yeah, like at the beach where she gets hit by the ball, it's just like, this hurts, but I'm happy. Or like
my favorite is when
Fura Senpai.
Yeah, is when the side character Fura Senpai is introduced, and now Fura is a horror manga author, and so she's creepy as fuck.
Yeah,
and she likes scaring people.
Yeah.
Because she especially learns that she likes scaring Chaos because she likes her reaction. And so she spends like a week just like jumping out at her and booming over her and just showing up in unexpected places and just scaring the ever-living shit out of her. And at some point, Chaos is scared. No. And Fura leans back against Fura.
Well, it was the thunder. They were both scared.
Oh, right. And so they huddled together. Yeah. And she leans back against Fura and she's like, wow, she's pretty slender. And she has big boobs. I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
It's just she's totally scared to death, but chick's got boobs, I'm good.
Yeah.
And it was so cute and sweet, and I ended up loving Fura as much as the main cast.
Oh, she's so good. She's criminally underused, but there's only so many bits they can do with her.
Yeah. I think probably the best one has to be when they ran into her at school.
Yeah. They just didn't recognize her because she wasn't in, like, her horror mode.
Yeah, she had her hair pulled up, and, like, I think she was wearing glasses.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And she, like, let her hair down and scared all of them.
Yeah, and all four girls are sitting around like, who is this chick, and why is she acting like she knows us?
Yeah.
And, oh god, but there was so much funny in this show.
Yeah. I should mention that I love all the characters. Like, Koyumi was adorable. Yes. Her crush on Tsubasa was great.
Yeah.
So where they go on a date.
Oh my god, I loved that. I actually liked. I think I may have liked the part where she was getting fat better.
Oh, that was really funny. Because she eats sweets like crazy.
Yeah.
I appreciate they at least addressed it a little bit.
Yeah, it had been poked at a little bit because she did the modeling.
Yeah.
But
they're like,
They made an episode out of it.
You're like, you're fat, and she's like, barely over like the slender weight everyone else is. Like,
yeah. And Tsubasa's intensity is just amazing.
Oh, Tsubasa's so great. She was really great in the first few episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then she becomes a really great supportive character too. She's she's kind of the backbone of the group.
Yeah, she's such a good friend. It's Ruki, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was great too. I loved her episode where she does the signing.
Oh, that one was actually really touching.
Episode. Yeah.
I was a little, I like Ruki a lot, and I like kind of, how pervy she is. But at the same time, the show kind of kept going back and forth on what exactly her manga is about.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, it seemed like porn.
Yeah.
And then toward the middle, it's more like teen romance.
I thought it was adult romance.
But they said teen romance in the show. So then, and then it was it's adult romance because there is sex in it. And then it's teen romance, but there's sex in it, but she's embarrassed by what she does, and I don't... And, her name is, Big Boobs Hitomi or something like that?
Yeah.
Big Boob Himiko?
Yeah, Big Boobs are in the title, I don't remember.
Yeah, and so it's a little unclear as to what exactly it is that she does. And... That being said, I really do love her a lot.
Yeah.
But
she is such a sweetheart, too.
Yeah, but I think of the main character, I think Chaos is probably the best.
Oh, yeah, Chaos.
I feel like she's the author insert. And
she totally is.
I think she is, because at the end she actually writes Comic Girls. Or at least a manga titled Comic Girls.
Yeah. It has the four of them as characters.
Yeah. I do want to talk about the ending of it, though. The ending of the show was a little weird.
Oh, yeah, the very end where they go back to the thing that isn't the dorm, but is?
Yeah, so toward the end of the show, about halfway through the show, they make a point that the dorm is going to be closing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, okay, so either something's going to happen and they're going to save the dorm, or that's going to be a nice way to wrap up the series.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. I love it when a series actually fucking ends.
Yeah.
And then we get toward the end of it, and there's been no progress as to saving the dorm, so it's clear that this is just a thing that's going to happen. And I'm like, okay, so that's going to be the end. And then at the end, everyone leaves. And then at the very end, this is after the credits?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so after the credits, it shows Chaos coming back into town and meeting up with the other girls, and there's a new building where the dorm was, and their dorm matron is welcoming them back.
Mm-hmm.
So was there a new dorm building built? It never really addresses it at all.
Yeah, they don't make it out like this was a profitable venture, to where anyone else would want to set this up. So
yeah, because it was shut down because there was no one there. They wasn't making any money. So, yeah, it was a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know about that ending. I think it's just so that way they have a way to leave it open if it does well enough.
That's true. And also, a happy ending, I suppose, where all the girls are together again, and I'm still pretty sure that Chaos just stepped in front of a train, and that's actually the afterlife.
Yeah. Yeah, that's heaven, the new fancy dorm.
Yeah, because, she got what she wanted. Right? So here's my crazy tinfoil hat theory. Is that
no, we're not going into one of these, are we?
Yes,
we're not going to be
yes,
this podcast.
Are. Yes, we are. Okay. So in the end, Chaos gets what she wants. One of her manuscript gets accepted.
Yeah.
And she gets published.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's waiting for the train to take her home, and she gets a phone call from her editor, who's like, hey, we want more. We need more manuscript. Right?
Yeah.
And she's so happy. My theory is she just up and kills herself. Because it's never going to get any better. My life is suffering. Either that or it's an accident.
Yeah.
Because she is
a
disaster.
She just falls down and...
Yeah, and so everything that happens...
Because she did fall down when she got the call.
Yeah, she did. And then so everything that happens after the credits, that's the afterlife. This is her in heaven. This is my theory.
Sure. Whatever.
But no, the show is fluffy and sweet and funny and...
I don't support everyone's dead theories on this podcast, because those are all bullshit.
They're not all bullshit. Some of them are true.
Some of them are true, and that's even more bullshit.
I didn't say everyone is dead. I just said she's dead.
I don't care. The microphone's not picking up my plain flat look, so I had to add something there.
And I'm ignoring it, so... Because I get to have crazy theories
Otakoi!
Yes, so, Otakoi! Oh, actually, Comic Girls, what rating are you going to give it on Mal? I'm going to give it a 9.
At least a 9, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite a 10.
Yeah, it's not a 10 because there's better shows in the genre, like, significantly.
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't put it quite at the same level as K-On!
Yeah, it's not K-On! It's, you know, it's not, like, something more meaningful, like a place for the universe.
Yeah, but it's sweet and fluffy and wonderful and heartwarming, and I think it does deserve a 9.
Yeah, I kind of float somewhere in the middle there, a little below. 9 sounds perfect.
Alright, so, Otakoi.
Yeah, this show is fantastic. Like, this show is a show about adult otakus being adult otakus, and, yeah.
Of all different kinds.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, you know, because... There's lots of different kinds. I like anime, you know, maybe I don't like other things. I do like a lot of other things. I like video games, I like manga, I like, you know, many, many other nerdy shit. But...
Yeah, most of them at least had some inclination towards the other things, but they were hard into one thing.
Yeah.
And that's how most nerds are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like, Hirotaka's really into games.
Yeah.
And not so much into the other stuff, but he'll watch things, or he'll read a manga.
He reads all the yaoi manga that's suggested to him.
Yeah, he'll help, you know, Momose with her doujinshi.
Yeah.
Like, best boyfriend ever, right?
Yes. He actually helped ink it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He helped her ink it so that she'd be ready in time for Comic-Cat. And then he manned the booth. Mm-hmm. Alone.
Yeah. Where some nice gentleman grabbed his hands.
I love that scene.
That scene is fantastic.
Yeah, so I will say the show started out really hard with lots of references and otaku humor that slowed down a bit.
Yeah, it slowed down a lot. Like, episode 1, there was very little of it. Episode 2 was, like, going ham on it.
Yeah, it went hard.
Like, it was like Eva reference, into JoJo reference, into Dragon Ball Z reference.
Yeah, and then a bunch of shit that we didn't even understand.
Yeah.
And I think that we may have missed a lot of references.
Yeah, I feel like the references probably got more obscure later.
Yeah.
And they were going hard with, like, really simple ones early on.
Yeah, they did return to using some of the, I think I caught a few more JoJo references.
Oh, definitely.
In there.
Well, because the JoJo reference is really easy. It's whenever anyone's, like, upset, you just put some, like, danger kanji and, like...
Yeah. And just, like, a dark background behind them.
And you have them in a weird pose.
Yeah.
I made a weird pose for the microphone. In the video-only version of the podcast.
That we're not recording.
Yeah. If you back us on Patreon... The Patreon we don't have, but if you really call for it, we will have.
God,
You're not gonna call for it.
No. I love this show so much, and it's not just because I loved the manga.
Yeah.
In fact, the show surpassed the point I had read in the manga.
Yeah.
With the introduction of Hirotaka's brother and the other love interest.
Yeah.
There. This show managed... One of the things I love so much about it is that it managed to avoid all of the romance show tropes. Like, literally all of them. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of episodes, and it actually... Well, I'm not going to say literally all of them, because it does address a few things.
Yeah.
But everything that comes up is resolved in the same damn episode. Yeah. It does not get drawn out. It does not become a recurring issue. It does not become a thing that causes real tension. Because all of these couples...
3D girl?
Oh, God. Because all of these couples are mature adults and know how to handle their fucking problems.
Yep.
So in some cases it's by getting drunk and crying, but sometimes that's what grown-ups gotta do.
I'm not sure that's the most mature answer, but it's an
answer
people have handled.
It worked for them, though.
Yeah, that's a way of putting it.
Well, it's, Hanako is so... They're both so, like, aggressive and stubborn that it took...
Oh, yeah, they're the most,
It took something that would make one of them vulnerable for them to work it out. And so she got drunk and got vulnerable with her awesome boobs.
Bicycle.
That is a part of my lexicon now.
Bicycle. I feel like we heard that more than once this season. I feel like another show used that too.
That is possible. Was it Chaos?
Girls.
But yeah, it's just dorky couples doing dorky couple shit.
Yeah.
Playing video games together and going to the comic book shop together and having conversations about which one of the boys would be on top. And
that was so fucking great.
Things that normal couples actually just do. And while I wouldn't... See, it's a little hard for me to figure out who to recommend this show to. I want to recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, it's... basically it's for otaku adults.
Yeah.
It's a show about the people that are in it.
Yeah, so, if you've ever had a job, and if you like nerdy shit...
Yeah.
It's a pretty good show. If you have ever had a job and love nerdy shit, this show will be amazing. I'm trying to think of any other specific... The amusement park date.
It's okay.
Yeah, the, where they try to be normal.
Yeah, they even have like a piggy bank where they have to put a 500 yen coin in if they make a nerdy reference.
And that's pretty serious, because that's like $5.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, they're easily sitting on over $100.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that.
No, I couldn't.
Way too much of my life is movie and game and anime references, even ones that no one but me gets.
You'd have to cough it up, like, how did you get that one?
Yeah, I would be broke in a heartbeat, and so, but I think my favorite moments in the entire show are when Hirotaka is, like, really smooth.
Oh, yeah.
He is so smooth when he wants to be. And they never fully address it, but toward the end it does mention that he's actually been in love with Momose for a long time.
Yeah. I love the part, like, right at the end where now his younger brother is like, well, Hirotaka got to be with his first love.
Yeah. And the look that Hirotaka gives him is just like instant death glare.
Yeah.
So clearly Momose has no idea. Of course, their whole relationship started with her laughing and saying that she'd never date him.
Uh-huh.
And then him being like, well, why don't we?
Yeah.
And it was so casual that he never really let on that this was something that he actively wanted.
Yeah. He's so great. I adore him. He's best boy of the season, easy.
That is highly likely.
Yeah.
I'm still watching Yotsu Irobiori. So.
Fair. Tell me about how my girl boy is doing.
But Hirotaka is definitely best boyfriend of the season.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Well, there's not a lot of competition there.
Yeah, there's the other guy, pretty much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's not the guy from 3D Girl.
Yeah, oh god, no.
It's definitely not either the guys from Tadaku.
Mm-hmm. Well, who knows? Maybe they are. We didn't watch it.
Maybe, but the first episode did not show that.
Yeah. So this is a highly recommended for anyone who actually wants a mature romance story as well, without any fucking drama.
Also, I should point out the fact that Tadakun's a traditional romance anime, so there's no way that they're together by now.
Oh God, yeah. They've been separated by something, and yeah, they're not even.
Well,
and they're not even together yet.
That show might be over. He might have asked her
out. Maybe. Maybe they held hands. Scandal.
If they don't want a second season, they kissed.
But yeah, I am waffling between a 9 and a 10 on this show. Mm-hmm. I would say it's a 10, except that they had a lot of production issues in the show.
I don't think I heard the show that bad though.
Well, there's a lot of like off-model bullshit that happens.
Yeah, but that really didn't bother me for a show like this.
It was really noticeable to me though. Usually I don't care, but in this case somehow I did.
You cared about it a lot, weirdly.
I think it was just because I wanted the show to be perfect.
You wanted a one picture show to be perfect? I don't think that's ever happened.
Fair. So, Darling in the Franxx!
Sorry, A1 Pictures.
So, speaking of A1 shows, Darling in the Franxx, how's that going?
Weird. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that after it's over.
Yeah.
I think. Because we've still got a few weeks left on that one.
I was going to finish right around the same time as Fully Cooley, isn't it?
I think so. So we might do both of those together.
That would be
Although I would actually like to do a whole show on Fully Cooley.
Yeah. Should watch the original Fully Cooley too.
Yeah. Alright, so what would you rate Otakoi?
I want to give it a 10 just because it's so good in the way that it is.
It is so good at being what it is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't pretend to be anything else.
Yeah, animation aside, because there's a few, weak animation points, but it's just the kind of show that doesn't need strong animation.
True.
It's not like any of the bits are lost on it.
That's true.
It's not like an action show where suddenly the animation quality drops and, two characters just slide across the screen into each other.
Because we haven't seen that this week.
It's the kind of show where it really doesn't matter. The character moments that matter were well animated. Just like the OP with the hand.
The OP is the best animation I've seen this entire fucking season.
It's at least close. There's some really nice stuff in a few other things. Darling in the Franxx is some beautiful fight animation.
It does have some beautiful fight animation, but I'm thinking, I don't know,
we've been watching My Hero Academia, so.
That's true.
That all for one fight.
Yeah. We don't want to spoil too much of that until we get there. I'm
just saying, that all for one fight.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll give you that one. I will give you that on a plate. But yeah, I'm waffling between 9 and 10. I'll make up my mind probably when I actually get to Mal.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a 10. I don't have a whole lot of those.
I rate 10 and 2. I'm really bad. I need to update a bunch of my stuff because it was always on a whim that I rate things.
Yeah, I need to go through and actually finish rating everything I've seen, which is a lot of things.
Yeah. If the mobile client was better, I'd have done it by now.
I do it on desktop. It's not that much better.
Yeah. The mobile client's real bad. This is the part where we talk about my anime list.
How about we just move on to Hina Matsuri?
Let's. Yeah. The show was fantastic.
This is the show I had the least expectations going into.
Yeah, I had no clue what the show was going to be. The episode 1 was kind of weird.
I added it to my plan to watch list before I ever decided that we were going to do this. Mm-hmm. And I don't even remember why. It just... I think I may have seen someone recommend it on Reddit or something like that. And I added it to the list, and I ended up watching everything anyway, but even if I hadn't, I still would have watched, and I would have been glad that I did.
Yep.
Because this show continually topped itself with how good it gets. Not only is it funny, consistently.
Funny.
It's downright hilarious. But it also has, some real feels moments. Which was a little hard at first.
Yeah.
because, there's the whole story with Anzu, and she ends up homeless. And that was the point at which I'm like, I did not, sign up for a feels train in my comedy anime about little girls with superpowers. Yeah. But
I'm thinking of all the bits now, like the bit in the stairwell where they like turn and walk away from each other and then turn back.
Yeah,
it's just so
where
well
is she gonna go?
Timed.
I think one of my favorites has to be with Mao, the pink-haired girl, and her little Hina doll that only ever says, "Go on,
feed me."
Yeah, food. And I'm glad that whole thing, because that whole story part was a little weird, but they brought it back around to the weird-ass fight scene at the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
Because when that happened, when the show started, I was like, am I watching the right show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was super weird.
It was way out of place until the whole, Watashi no smartphone thing. Right? And then it was like, oh, this is a comedy. Yeah. And then it completely changed, became a different show, and it didn't come around full circle until the end. Mm-hmm. And even post-credits in the end. Of course, most of the final episode is a post-credits scene.
Yeah, there's only half of the last episode, and then it's a post-credits scene that wraps up the actual show.
Yeah. Now, I sincerely hope that Hina Matsuri gets a second season. I think they would do really well with it.
Yeah.
But, as I'm given to understand, the show really isn't doing all that well in Japan, which is really unfortunate. So the likelihood of it getting a second season is pretty low at this point. But they love it in China.
Yeah. That can actually be a huge influence because China's a huge market. So they don't buy a lot of anime.
Yeah, and they keep trying to make their own, and that doesn't really seem to work out terribly well.
Well, it also doesn't get published anywhere. You have to pirate that stuff.
There's been a few on Crunchyroll.
A few. The one this season wasn't.
That's true.
Which I think was bad. I think people said it was bad. I never searched
looked.
it down.
Yeah, I never looked. But so there is a possibility that overseas support for Hina Matsuri will give it a second season, and I sincerely hope that it does.
That would be great.
Because the show is just top notch in every fucking way. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. There's a little weirdness with the color, but you get used to it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The animation is gorgeous. The faces are wonderful. The reaction faces and everything are just great.
Yeah, the horrified faces they do. They're just so good.
And then the music is great.
Yeah.
The pacing is fantastic. The cast is just the right size. Mm-hmm. Nobody feels out of place. Everything happens at the right time, and it jumps between characters.
You say no one feels out of place, but after a certain point, the bar owner feels out of place.
And then she stops showing up.
Yeah, so the point where she literally stops being in the OP.
Yeah, well, she is still in the OP.
Yeah,
doing all the things that she actually does in the show.
Yeah.
So in the OP, it shows the bartender or the bar owner being just this horrible person, taking money from children, holding little girls by their hair until they cry, making them sign things. And I thought that was just showing her being a terrible person, but no, she actually does all of those things in the show. Yeah. She is a terrible person.
Oh, she's bad.
But I love her.
Oh, she is a fun character.
Yeah. And I love how Nita chases her for the first 2/3 of the series. Mm-hmm. He keeps asking her out and she keeps saying no.
Yeah.
And eventually she gets is it Hitomi that convinced her to go out on a date with him? Or is it Hina? I think it's the two of them together.
Yeah.
They convince her to actually go out on a date with him. And then he spends the whole damn time talking about Hina. And she's like, no, you know what? This is just, I'm not going to date a dude with a kid. Yeah. And that's it. Mm-hmm. And that's the end of that story.
And the whole thing was like Nina decides that he's going to have a mommy for Hina.
Yeah.
And then when she ends up turning him down at the end of the night, he comes back as like a puppet.
Yeah. This is your mommy now.
So many of those end of episode gags are so good. Like,
yeah.
when
like when Hina comes back.
Yeah, when he just like has to go away. It's a sad moment, and like there's a sad scene. Like she ends up coming back, and he's throwing a party.
Yeah, because she's gone.
Full Groucho Marx classes and noisemakers. Like,
yeah. Those are some of the best gags at all.
Oh yeah. All the joke timing is so good in that show.
Yeah. The Yakuza guys ended up being brilliant, especially after the episode with the documentary.
I think my favorite bit was when they have him at the docks in cement.
Oh yeah.
And then like they find out that it was all a misunderstanding.
And then he's just like still in the cement while they're all talking about it. But yeah, God, that show is so funny and so heartwarming. I mean, just the story of Anzu alone.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very happy that she found a family. You know, and of all the children, she is the best daughter.
Oh yeah, easy.
I mean, Hitomi is a good girl, but she's also doing a lot of bad things. You know,
Hitomi's not a daughter anymore. She's an adult. Yeah.
She is an adult at this point.
She literally moves out.
Yeah, on her own. Into this nice-ass apartment.
That she can barely afford. She has to work extra jobs.
And I love how she tries to get her mom to step in and be like, wait a minute, my daughter's only 12, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
And her mom's like, wow, you're doing great for yourself, keep it up!
The whole episode's great. They never really resolve what's going on with her. Like, does she keep doing her jobs? Like,
I think she does. Based on the stuff that I've read about what happens later in the manga. Yeah. It sounds like she just keeps, like, I'm not going to say failing upward, but keeps moving up without trying.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a show that if it doesn't get a second season, I might pick up the manga. I
think I am going to pick up the manga. I know that a lot of stuff in the anime is out of order.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, some of it is skipped.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Yakuza chapters are skipped because there's very strict rules in Japan on how you can portray the Yakuza in television media. And that's actually, from what I understand, one of the reasons it's not doing so well in Japan is people aren't digging the Yakuza part of it. Huh. For one reason or another. But yeah, so there's a lot of that stuff that gets skipped over, and so I want to pick up the manga just to see what we missed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious about it. I might pick it up. I say that about a lot of mangas, though.
Yeah, well, I'll read it and tell you if it's worth it. Maybe I'll make you read it.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Hinamatsuri, I think Hinamatsuri is a 10 for me.
Yeah, I can probably give it a 10 very comfortably.
Yeah, it's of the 4 shows that we're talking about at length this week, it's the only one that you don't need to be a nerd to get.
Yeah.
It's one I can safely recommend to anyone.
Mm-hmm. I agree on that point.
And so that alone earns it a 10 to me. And that I would recommend it to anyone. I will continue recommending it to people long from now. Mm-hmm. So that's all of the shows that we finished this week. Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about the shows that we're actually dropping. So we said we weren't going to drop anything.
Yeah.
After the 3 episodes. Yeah, we lied. I made it 2 more episodes into 3D Girl and stopped fucking watching it.
Yeah, like, I was gonna keep watching it, I just kind of stopped caring.
Yeah, it ended up being the same old shoujo romance bullshit, misunderstandings, drama stuff where the main character is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, the main character is a fucking idiot, and everyone else in the story is an asshole.
Yeah, and there's, like, really shitty stuff happens that never really gets addressed, or that never really gets resolved satisfactorily. Like, the whole thing where, like, half the school thinks that this dude is a lolicon, and no one ever tries to rectify it. He doesn't even try to rectify it.
Yeah, like, his girlfriend tries a little bit, but...
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, and he's just like, hey, you know, I'm a piece of shit. I know I'm a piece of shit, so whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but, you know, think about your fucking girlfriend, dude. And a lot of the problems in their relationship is him being like, well, I'm a piece of shit, so who cares? He's just such a garbage character.
Yeah, he kept having hints of getting better, and then he just never fucking did.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was moving on to episode 4 after our talk, like, I figured he would get better. He's just doing the same bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, and I realize it takes people time to grow.
Yeah, but he had already had his, like, you know, come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
And then went right back, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was too hard to watch. Mm-hmm. You know, it was the only show on High Dive that I was watching.
Yeah, that's a little bit of it. Definitely.
Admittedly, is a bit of a contributing factor because everything else I could watch on Verve.
Yeah, and like the other thing is, it is a romance.
So that was a bit of a hard sell for you anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm more okay with it, but I had my romance in Otakoi.
Yeah, like as the show got to be a better romance, I really stopped caring about 3D Girl. It was so traditional, and I hate the way they do traditional romance in anime for the most part.
Yeah, so I might try to pick it up again. Mm-hmm. It is getting a second season.
Which is fucking weird.
Yeah, 3D Girl is getting a second season. Nobody's fucking watching it, but it's getting a second season. Meanwhile, everyone's watching Hinamatsuri, and it's not. So, what the fuck's up with that?
Yeah, like, I feel like that's one of those things where it's announced for a second season, and it might end up dropping before it actually ever comes out.
Oh, that's true, because it might have, you know, production issues or whatever.
Yeah. And that production issues meaning it was fucking canned.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, I don't actually know how well 3D Girl's doing in Japan, but it's got to be doing decently if they're at least announcing a second season.
Yeah. Unless it's like the studio behind it is married to the show, because I don't know if they're doing anything else.
That could be, yeah. I don't know what studio's making it.
Yeah.
I think it's a newer one.
I think so too, because the art style doesn't look familiar.
Yeah, so they might just be throwing everything at it. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
it might be doing just well enough to where they can.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm dropping it for now. I might pick it up again later, but at this point, probably not. I have enough other shows to watch. Yeah. I also might kind of feel confident saying that I'm dropping Gun Gale Online.
Okay.
I watched up through episode 5 through the end of the Squad Jam arc. I
still don't fully understand why you watched that far. You were not enjoying the show.
I was enjoying a lot of the show. There was some of the shit with the game was bugging the fuck out of me. But I can get over that. I can get over technical stuff. Yeah. I'll bitch about it, but I can get over it to enjoy a show that I otherwise like. No, the thing that finally put the nail in the coffin for me was the fucking recap episode. 5 episodes in.
Yeah, I didn't watch that shit. Just don't watch recap episodes.
Yes.
Recap episodes need to go in the trash where they belong.
Yeah. 6th episode recap. Yeah. And it wasn't technically a numbered episode. But still, recap episode. Halfway through.
Yeah. 2-course shows can almost justify it.
Not at episode 6.
But 1-course shows, never. Never, ever, 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 ever.
I can understand one near the end if they need to pad out an episode. Near the end before something happens, right?
I have an absolute hate for recap episodes.
Yeah, so, you know...
It comes from Grown Loggin.
Fair. But, yeah, the recap episode was the thing that hit it for me. Mm-hmm. It really was. I might go back and watch it, but from what I understand, it's kind of the same old bullshit, so I'm probably...
Yeah, I don't think you'll actually enjoy the next plot point, because it gets stupid.
Okay. I gave it a good effort.
When I've watched, like... I'm enjoying it on the fact that it's fucking stupid.
There was a lot of stuff that I actually liked about the show. Yeah. There really was. But... I guess it just wasn't enough. Is there anything...
I kind of feel like spoiling you on the next plot point.
You can tell me another time.
Okay.
Because you're gonna finish watching it, right?
Yeah.
So you can spoil me about it later. Is there anything else that you feel safe saying that you're gonna drop?
I don't plan on dropping it, but I might end up dropping Golden Kamuy or maybe even GGO if I don't get the time to watch them.
Yeah, you're pretty far behind on Golden Kamuy at this point.
I am. So, like, I need to dedicate, like, 5 hours at some point to catch up on both those shows. That might not happen.
Fair. So we'll
because
see.
I am going to watch Megalobox next week.
Yeah.
And Tiramisu easily.
Well, Tiramisu is a very small investment.
Yeah. 7 more minutes, I don't think I can do that shit.
There are some shows.
Yeah.
There are some shows where you're like, I cannot handle 7 more minutes of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what we're dropping. Okay, so next week we're going to do another podcast with the stuff that finishes in the next week. So it looks like Tiramisu is going to be ending, Golden Kamuy is going to be ending, Megalobox and GGO is going to be ending.
Yep.
So I can catch up on Golden Kamuy and Megalobox, and I'll be good.
Yeah.
And Tiramisu, but we're actually current with that.
You never checked if Yatsu Biore...
I didn't.
If that finishes, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll just keep doing these every week until we're out of shows, and then the next season's going to start.
It should basically be next week. Then maybe the week after we'll start talking about first episodes.
Yeah, because they'll be running right after this stuff is over.
Yeah, and
I think they're starting next week.
Yeah, Fully Cooley and Darling in the Franxx are ending soon. We'll probably talk about them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to drag her into watching Gunbuster and Diebuster with me.
It's a bit of a hard sell. We'll see.
I don't think that. Listen, I know someone is gonna hear this eventually, hopefully, and hate me about this, but I don't think Gunbuster is good. I hope that the movie version cuts enough of the bullshit that it's palatable, but I think it is something to be experienced, particularly in the realm of Darling in the Franxx.
Well, when you put it that way, I kind of have to. I've done that to you a few times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I might do that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about anything about Diebuster. Diebuster's a new frontier for me, and I'm actually really interested in that.
I've only heard of it in reference to some stuff that recently happened in Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah. I assume Diebuster is more or less the same thing. For the longest time I was thinking it had nothing to do with the Dekiano, so I was like, fuck it, I don't need it. But he actually was heavily involved in it, and it was after Evangelion, so I'm actually really interested now that I know that.
Yeah, I'm somewhat more interested as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about the mid-season for My Hero Academia.
Oh yeah.
This week. But Funimation chose this week to stop doing the same week dubs, and
that's gonna suck to be on the internet for a while.
Yeah. And again, I've already read a little bit ahead, so it's not a huge deal for me, but
you have to, find some motherfuckers soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Punch them right in the mouth.
But
you shut your whore mouth about spoilers for My Hero Academia.
That motherfucker might be me. But what I can say is, so episode 50 is really the mid-season for this season. But do you want to comment on what you've seen so far?
I kind of like to, but we might want to say that for next week because we're kind of already in the outro.
That's true. Okay, yeah, we'll do that another time. Maybe we'll do it after episode 50 then.
All right.
Let's see.
At some point, we'll get back to me watching Shirobako.
Yeah,
we'll make that episode. But for the next few weeks, we probably won't have the time.
Yeah, because we've got to finish out this season, starting up next season.
Yeah.
And then we can get back to...
When do shows start airing? Is there anything that starts airing?
Next week. I think there's some stuff that starts airing in the very first week of July. So we are not going... There's no break. It doesn't stop.
Are we doing this again?
Because we're masochists.
Well, thank you all for watching. We'll be back at this again soon. I promise we won't take 4 weeks off. We really can't at this point.
Yeah, we're gonna be right on top of this for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully we can stay that way.
Yeah.
So.
We might do some gameplay or something in the middle of that just to make it easier.
Yeah, that's true. We should play Monster Prom again.
We should. There's a new update. Costumes.
Yay.
Woo! I think we're rambling on this outro.
I think we
are too. We don't know
too.
where to end it, but
because it's been 4 weeks.
Yeah,
thanks
we've gotten
for listening.
bad at this. I'm sorry. At least I think our audio quality is better because I think we used the other mic last time.
I think we did too.
So, there's that. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.